about President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo and why he has managed to tame the oppositions in Somalia, especially Mogadishu. And I will just give you a quote about General Montgomery, who said, "My own definition of leadership is this: the capacity and the will to rally men and women to a common purpose, and the character which requires and inspires confidence." Now, I will add, there are three basic qualities a leader needs to possess. Number one is care. A leader needs to show that he cares about the plight of the people he leads. And that is clearly evident in President Farmajo. Number two is about vision. He has a very clear vision about how he wants Somalia to be in the next 10 years. And the number three is about integrity. These three qualities are required in a leader. As a leader, you need to have these basic three qualities if you want the people you lead to follow you and to do what you expect them to do. Now, let me just define integrity. Many people consider integrity as a mysterious word, but in very simple way, I'll say integrity is about trustworthiness, truthfulness, and honesty in your dealings. Now, there are five main reasons why people, the general population in Somalia, are attracted to President Farmajo. Recently, many people have been following what is going on in Somalia. If Somalia becomes stable and peaceful, then as Kenyans, then we will have little trouble about fearing extremism and terrorists coming over here. So we should be very closely following what is happening in Somalia. If it is your first time coming across this platform, please hit subscribe and turn on notification so that YouTube can bring you this video next time without you looking for it. General population in Somalia like President Farmajo for three reasons. They believe he has returned the honor and dignity of the Somali nation. Reason number two is they believe he is not corrupt and only works to improve their living standard. Number three is he discourages tribalism, and as everyone knows, tribalism, someone who is inclined to tribal politics doesn't really understand that hunger, disease, illiteracy, famine, conflict does not know which tribe you come from. These calamities affect everyone, regardless of the tribe you come from. So the message that these people read from Farmajo is, and the reason they like him is, they believe he has returned the Somali people's honor and dignity. They also believe he is not corrupt and he discourages tribalism. That is the general population. Now, the second group of people who like President Farmajo are the security forces. What he has done is he has improved their welfare. They get very good salary. He has molded them into a modern force. He takes care of their welfare, and that is why this section of the population like him. The third group of people who like President Farmajo are the international community. Some will say, no, these people are fighting him. But one thing that many people have realized is the international community admire the integrity of President Farmajo. And as an indication of their appreciation is they get the reports, the intelligence reports they get always show that the president is not corrupt. President Farmajo is not someone who gathers public resources to enrich himself. Now, of course, there are a lot of money that passes through his hands. Every month, there are billions of dollars, that there are millions of dollars that passes through his hand, but none of the money that passes through his hands go into his own pocket. What I mean is he doesn't use that money for his own private use. Now, the people who surround President Farmajo also like him. These are the fourth category of people who like President Farmajo. His team, the cabinet, the prime minister's team, the people who surround him, the government officials, they like President Farmajo. And there is a basic also principle that dictates that people do what people see. If the top leadership is not corrupt, the top leadership is not corrupt, then those people who are below them will also be people who are not corrupt. They will tend to follow the footsteps of the lead. Number 5 is he is a person who can steer the country, this troubled country for over 3 decades. He believes he can steer this country into development, and he believes he possesses the quality of leadership to do that. So we talked about the general population, we talked about the security forces, we talked about the international community, we talked about the people who surround President Farmajo, and we talked about himself. These are the 5 reasons why President Farmajo is very popular in Somalia. And I have to say, there are people who are opposing him. Those who are fighting him are those people who are competing to occupy the seats he sits on, the presidential seat. So what we are saying is he is not unopposed. There are people, there are sections of the community who oppose him, but 70% of the population are fully behind him. Now, there are 4. I will categorize these 30% of the population who oppose him into 4 categories. The elites who control the educational sector are people who oppose President Farmajo because he has streamlined a lot of things that this section of the community used to do haphazardly. They don't like the organized way of doing things, and so they oppose him. The elders who select the members of parliament based on 4.5 in tribal system also oppose him. These are the second category of people who oppose President Farmajo. The business cartel who control the import and export sector of Somalia also oppose him. They are those politicians who further the interest of foreign countries also oppose him. Now, these are 4 sections, 4 types of people who oppose President Farmajo. There are, of course, challenges everywhere, and we have seen in 2018 the handshake between President Uhuru and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. That is something that President Farmajo needs to consider. He should consider giving a handshake to one of the strong politicians. And these politicians, I believe, this politician who has a vision, the same kind of very close vision to him, is Sheikh Ahmed. He's come out recently to denounce the tribal alliances being created in Mogadishu, and he has stand out to say he doesn't support tribal alliances. He supports one Somalia. So that is a guy President Farmajo needs to bring closer, and a handshake will do him a great deal of service in this kind of difficult situation. Once he develops handshake, then opposition will reduce. The kind of opposition that he's facing right now in Mogadishu will go down, will reduce drastically. Now, whatever Sharif Shah Ahmed may ask for, it shouldn't be the seat of the presidency, and it shouldn't be to control the security forces. Everything else apart from these two, I think, is something that they can talk about. Now, that is my humble opinion about going forward, so that the objectives of the vision of President Farmajo can be achieved. He needs to do a handshake with the opposition, and one of the people from the opposition, politicians I can see that he can work with is Sharif Sheikh Ahmed, the person who appointed him as Prime Minister in 2011-2012. So he needs to consider that. This is just my personal opinion about going forward.